Welcome, seekers of the unknown, as we pull back the veil between the living and beyond. Unraveling questions that plague our minds, and oftentimes presenting the evidence that may prove them true. Let us take you on a journey where paranormal becomes normal, and where what is right behind you just might be echoes of the afterlife or something more. But fair warning, once you step into the supernatural with us, you might just stay haunted.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stay Haunted with Panama Jack over to the right.
We're still on vacation mode.
I know. I don't blame you.
With that hat, you look like you just mowed my yard.
Maybe.
What? What's wrong with the saying he looks like he mowed my yard with that hat?
A grass hat? No.
I got in trouble for saying I mowed my yard.
Well, yeah.
We are still on vacation mode.
God.
It was funny, right?
Chris, you didn't do it. You didn't say a damn thing wrong.
Thank you.
I need a piece of straw in my mouth now.
Shit.
You know what the wrong part about that was? Is she put a racist connotation to it, and it had nothing to do with that. That was her.
I got a
I should kick her.
My bald spot gets cooked. I gotta have a hat on, man. And
Right?
you can't wear no regular hat. You gotta have sombrero on or something. You know, you gotta have something big that's gonna cover everything.
I said something funny. You got improper, not me. That was you.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you know, beauty goes a long way on you. You can get away with it.
See the hat? I put the hat on and we go off the rails 5 seconds.
Yeah, immediately. Already. So you guys just got back from Key West.
They froze again?
Can you stop touching everything?
I'm not touching anything.
No man ever wants to hear
there?
that from
Houston.
We can hear you.
We can hear you just lagging.
So everybody, Todd and Carmela.
He keeps touching things. Put your hand down.
We're men. We do that. All I can say. So you guys just got back from Key West, right? They were on the show last week.
Yes.
Lucky.
Yes.
And listen, maybe, and we didn't visit that certain place. So maybe, who knows? Maybe
Gotcha.
Maybe that's why my Wi-Fi or my internet is all wonky tonight.
Right.
No, I had a weird experience today, so that's why.
So Carmela earlier had a strange experience. Share it.
Already?
Sure, why not? No time like the
Already? We're starting the show like that?
Already. We're starting. So I go to lunch with these two girls I used to work with, and the one's her mom died about 2 months ago. So I'm sitting there and like my eyes are rolling behind my head. I'm starting to shake. My eyes are wide. I'm getting goosebumps. And she's like, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Well, your mom heard you say, or she didn't hear you say I love you, but she knows you love her." And I went through this whole thing. And then she looked at me and she started crying. Then I started crying. And she said, "How did you know?" I go, "I don't know." But it was like really weird. We sitting in the pizza place, like, okay, I'm Whoopi Goldberg all of a sudden, and she's jumping in my body. This is not good.
We're not going to see you on The View anytime soon, are we?
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. But that's awesome. All this stuff is happening.
And then pre-show, our top crashed with Carmela, like.
Yeah, Todd going. And Carmela's like, it was funny.
And my face was.
It's like a perfect
strange juju in the air tonight. This Monday.
Yeah, well, you want to hear about strange juju? So we've been trying to get into the Spafford House, which is a house that was built in the early 1800s. We drove by it on Saturday. It was open, so we went in and talked to them. And they've actually captured on their security video a man walking in a door that no longer works. This house is phenomenal. It is completely phenomenal. It's the same concept as the Montgomery house, but they've actually taken it to where they finished it. It has AC, it has a bathroom, but they've refinished
it for sure.
But they've refinished it as the way it would have looked back then. And then they've got the whole history of the area in different rooms of the whole place. And it is flipping awesome. So then we decide we're going to go. We stop by Fort Meigs for a little while, which is a fort that was in the Battle of 1812 here, right? Or the War of 1812.
Yeah.
And then we actually went out back to Tintagony Cemetery and we did an investigation. Now, we haven't done the review yet. We weren't there very long. It didn't seem very active, but I saw somebody walk by. I saw somebody standing behind Audra. What really is weird, though, is ever since we did those things and came back to the house, we've been hearing weird noises, and it's been loud. It's weird.
Yeah.
Strange.
What the hell is that?
In the words of
See,
What the hell is that?
You people keep it down. We're trying to do a digital seance.
Yeah.
What the hell? No!
Look who showed up.
This is the weird noises we've been hearing.
The weird noises.
So we've been keeping this a secret from you guys because we wanted to surprise you tonight.
Surprise! Surprise, everybody!
Are you surprised?
It warms my heart.
We miss you, Coco.
Key West, we did due West.
So not only do we have an awesome guest
We're all
tonight,
invited, but nobody came.
So not only do we have an awesome guest tonight, but we have honorary co-hosts with us tonight. And now that they've surprised you guys, they're going to go downstairs and join the show.
Nice.
Say hi.
You showed them my login.
That's awesome. And I asked you because I knew we messaged Ron and Lourdes yesterday, and just to see how they were. I knew they were heading out your way for the World, Travelers World Project, and I remember you saying now that they're only like 30 minutes from you guys or something like that.
48 minutes away, yeah.
Yeah, literally.
So they contacted us Thursday or Friday and said, "Hey, we're thinking about coming down." And I'm like, "You better stop." And they go, "Do you want us to come down early and spend a couple days with you guys?" So all those places and things that we did, we all did together. And we were trying so hard not to post pictures because we wanted to surprise you guys tonight.
We have 3
Nice.
days.
Very nice.
Hey, Adam.
Surprise!
Hey, everyone. Surprise. Hi. Great to be back. Thank you for the invitation.
Hey, Adam.
So, guys,
Welcome to the Nut House.
while we wait for Ron and
I
Lourdes
dressed
to
the part.
he did dress the part.
Yes,
There you go.
So while we wait, Adam is a former paranormal investigator turned paranormal historical researcher and author. He grew up in Connecticut, began investigating the paranormal in 2007. And then he relocated to Gettysburg in 2019, where he reinvented himself as the Victorian Historian, creating entertaining programs for the unusual and entertaining side of the America's 19th and 20th century, which he's been entertaining audiences both within and outside of Pennsylvania. At the same time, Adam began his journey as an author, publishing several books on long-forgotten, entertaining topics in American history. Okay? Some of the books are part of the series titled History's Haunted Headlines. That's why Adam's here tonight. Okay? Containing accounts of hauntings and spiritual encounters through the United States, which appeared in the 19th century American newspapers. Okay? So we just didn't start believing in spirits now.
Nope.
Right?
No.
And through continuing his Victorian historian endeavors, Adam's interest in the paranormal has him working and sorry guys, I'm having trouble seeing tonight, and presenting an interactive traveling exhibit called Experience the Paranormal Like a Victorian, allowing guests to partake in experiencing the paranormal using the same methods and equipment used by those who enjoyed that type of entertainment in the home during the 19th century and 20th century. Guys, I put on there, make sure to tune in this episode of Stay Haunted. We might just have a special surprise, not only with our fantastic guest, that was the surprise. So, and
you hit it. I read that and I'm linking to myself, but I didn't think to ask you. That's my head pull-up brain not working.
And so here is our honorary guest hosts.
Yay!
And this is actually iconic because the last time Adam was on our podcast was when it was Ron and Lourdes and I and Tony and Sheree Rathman. Now it's with Todd and Carmela.
There you go. You made full circle, Mr. Adam. So yay. So good to have you
Look at
back.
that.
Glad to be back. And it was great seeing you at the bash.
Absolutely. It was nice to catch up again.
Yeah. But since we spoke last, I have another History's Haunted Headlines book published, volume 4, with even more accounts of ghost sightings and hauntings, and which appeared in 19th century newspapers. And again, like you mentioned, the paranormal is nothing new. I mean, this dates back to it started really in the 1850s. Modern spiritualism started in the 1850s with the Fox sisters. I'm sure you've heard of the Fox sisters. I actually have a picture of them. If for those who are not familiar with them, you can see that.
Right. Yep.
Right.
And so there is Maggie, Kate, and Leah Fox, and they lived in New York, and they basically started modern spiritualism just by playing tricks. They lived in the same house with their parents, and what they would do is they would roll apples across their bedroom floor, and then they would, the apples would be loud enough hitting the floor that their mother would come in and ask what was that, and the girls would be like, I don't know, it wasn't us. We don't know what that was. We don't know what tossed the apples across the floor. So they started getting their mother, and both their parents, almost wondering what is going on here. This is bizarre. If they're not doing it, if they're not rolling these apples across the floor, what's doing it? And then they eventually transitioned to making knocking sounds and saying that they weren't the ones making it. But they ended up becoming local celebrities in their hometown, and then they started being invited to give these seances in theaters across the country and even overseas. I mean, they not only appeared in New York, but they appeared in London and Chicago and St. Louis and all these big theaters. People wanted to come out and see these sisters that could communicate with the deceased. Nothing had ever been done like this before. The sisters had a lot of success. They made some pretty good money doing this. Until Leah, the oldest sister, got a little greedy and wanted to keep the money for herself. She wanted to keep the profits for herself and be in charge of them because she was the eldest sister. The other two sisters didn't like that, and they had bickered about this. They had argued about this multiple times. And, the third time this happened, about the third or maybe fourth time that this happened, the sisters were like, okay, you know what? Enough's enough. We want her cut of the share. We don't want Leah. We're tired of her controlling our money.
Yeah.
The money that they earned. So in 1888, during a live performance, doing a seance, one of the sisters, or two of them actually, the other two, addressed the audience and said, "We have something to admit to you. That the knocking sounds that they were making were actually cracking their toe knuckles, which they could do on command, and they could do very loud. So all the cracking that was heard, they would ask the spirit if an answer is yes to a question, make a knocking sound or make a cracking sound, and of course the audience would hear the cracking sounds. And they did this year after year. Now they come out and say that they were the ones making the cracking sounds. They were so tired of Leah and her shenanigans that they wanted to ruin her career, and in doing so, ruin their own career by coming out and saying that they were the ones responsible. It was trickery, basically. So even though their reputation was ruined in this way, they really got the ball rolling for modern spiritualism. And then, of course, after the Civil War, when there were mass deaths. So before the Civil War, there was something called the Good Death, where someone would pass away at home, surrounded by loved ones. Mm-hmm. Now the Civil War comes. You have these young men dying on battlefields. They can't say goodbye to their parents, to their siblings. They can't pass away at home. They can't have the good death. They died where they fell. So after the Civil War, spiritualism erupted, and especially in terms of mediums. These families, parents of these young men who died on the battlefield, they wanted to communicate with their sons or husbands and find out if they're okay on the other side. So all of a sudden, mediumship exploded. You had all these mediums being hired by these families to come into their parlors and do these seances. And this is where a lot of the, there may have been some legitimate mediums, but a lot of them were also taking advantage of these families in mourning. And they were not legitimate mediums. They just charged the families an extreme amount of money, and then told the parents what they wanted to hear. But that's really where spiritualism really started from, is Fox Sisters, and then of course the Civil War really, really blew it up.
Wow.
That is cool.
Yeah. And
so Adam, how did you? So, quick question. So, you've written several books now, right? You just said your latest one just came out, correct?
Yes.
And so, the whole history. How did you? What was your train of thought as far as Tell us a little bit about your history. As far as you did paranormal investigation first, correct?
Yeah. So, I got into paranormal investigation. My interest, I should say, started about the time when I think everyone's interest started in it, when Ghost Hunters first aired on TV, and it kind of captured the public's interest in the paranormal. And that kind of got me started on it. I don't have any interesting background. I don't have any experiences growing up with the paranormal. I just found it interesting, like everyone else did, or many people did. But anyway, I ended up joining up with a Connecticut team. And I was on that Connecticut team for maybe about a year or so, 2 years. I can't remember exactly how long it was. I think it was 2 years. And then that team folded, and I ended up starting my own team. I wanted to continue investigating, so I started my own team, and I did that for another 9 years, for a total of 11 years investigating. We worked with historical societies across Connecticut, some of them in New York, and we would try. We would try to brush up on as much history as we can, and try to communicate with those historical figures in that location, and try to document evidence relating to the questions or the conversations that we're talking about involving history. And sometimes we did get responses, and sometimes we didn't, just like any investigation. But then I ended up moving to Gettysburg, and the paranormal field was saturated at that point, especially in this area.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of still would like to investigate, but what team do I join? There's so many. Do I start my own team again? And I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to focus more on interesting, strange history, which of course includes the paranormal. So I'm gonna start creating these programs, writing these books, and just reinvent myself. And that's kind of what I did. I went a different route, but still am involved in the paranormal, just in a different avenue.
Right.
Just as an author instead of an investigator.
Right.
And
so
I
I'm
remember,
curious. I want to pick your. Yeah, no, you're good. Real quick question. I'm curious. How do you go about doing the research? So if you want to finish your train of thought and then answer the question, that would, that's okay. I'm curious. So like all these little paranormal, strange kind of history tidbits from back in at that time frame, what made you think about or how do you go about researching all those, old newspapers and stuff like that to come up with, I guess what led to your books that you've published?
Yeah, so I subscribe to some newspaper archives, and if you have a subscription to them, you can go down rabbit holes of all kinds, and you could get lost for hours in these old newspapers. And I forgot what I was looking up one day. I can't remember, maybe just some old ads. And I came across this quick blurb about a haunting. And I'm like, this is interesting. And I was like, what if I type in ghost or haunted and see what comes up? Type in a certain year, a certain location, and it came up with all these accounts of claimed to be true encounters, these spirit encounters. So I'm like, you know what? This kind of gives me an idea for a book. Let me go see if anything exists like this, because I don't want to do something that's already been done. So I did a search on Amazon. I did a general Google search, and I couldn't find any books relating to accounts, paranormal accounts written about in 19th century newspapers. So I'm like, hey, I'm doing it. I'm doing this. And I just start just type in keywords and years and locations, and it's a lot of research. It really is, but I love it. I mean, this whole project I've been working on, the History's Haunted Headlines book series, it really is a labor of love. It really is. I mean, just to share these claim to be true accounts from these people firsthand, that had firsthand experiences. So basically, what I noticed going through these old papers is that if somebody in the 19th century had any kind of experience with the paranormal, if they thought they saw something, if they thought they heard something, if they saw even somebody out with a sheet over themselves pretending to be a ghost, they would run to a reporter no matter where they lived, and that reporter would report on that. They would print it in the paper a day or two later. So you have all these accounts, some legitimate stories, some hoaxes. There were quite a bit of hoaxes back then. There were some people who were scared to death over what they thought was a ghost, which turned out not to be. Sometimes they couldn't explain what happened, and it could have been something very real. But so many different avenues of the paranormal back then. And it's just interesting to read. Like, for instance, you'd be amazed, especially in the 1860s, how many police officers fired their revolvers at spirits.
Oh,
It's unbelievable. It's amazing that no one was shot with how reckless they were shooting at what they thought were ghosts. But yeah,
Right?
Let's kill the dead guy already.
Mhm.
yeah, right. But it is fascinating, and
Right.
and if I
Shoot
find
first and ask
something,
later.
oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. If I find something related to that, if I can find an account that appears in more than one newspaper, then I'll just research that until I exhaust all avenues. Because if it's in more than one paper, then it's probably you probably find some stuff outside of newspapers also. Just stories on Google that someone else had maybe written about. I try to research as much as possible, different sources. What's also interesting, what I love doing, is if I could find a story that has an address associated with it, I love looking up the address and seeing if that house is still existing. And sometimes it is. Most times it's not, but sometimes it is. And it's just interesting to see the location that this story came out of.
That is cool and here's the best part is you've been to Gettysburg, a bunch of paranormal investigators, right?
Absolutely.
Paranormal researchers, however you want to do it. Hey, 305. If make sure, Adam, you let us know if you find these locations where these stories are from and they're still there.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go in and see if we can catch something.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the locations that I have found that still exist, they're all private residences.
Yeah.
Not too much in public places. I mean, there are stories that come out of jails, but so that may be an avenue for you to look into. Certain jails, certain prisons, or even if you're bold enough to contact the individual who lives in a private residence case. I've thought about reaching out and saying, hey, did you know that your house was once written about in a newspaper? But then I'm like, you know what? That could be just unsolicited attention that they don't want. Maybe they might find it pretty cool. Maybe they might be offended. Maybe they don't believe. Maybe they're for religious beliefs. They're not involved in this. So I don't want to cross any barriers that I shouldn't be crossing. But it's an interesting thought.
Talking about physical spaces and the Fox sisters, have you been to the foundation of their house or anything like that they've been to? or
No, I've only seen pictures of it. There's a plaque where the house once stood, but I
Yeah.
haven't actually been there myself.
Yeah. It's a cool place you should visit. We've been, and you can feel the energy. It's not that far. Well, I don't know. Where do you live, Adam?
I'm in Abbottstown, just outside of Gettysburg.
Oh,
Okay.
well, it would be
It's a little bit of a ride,
It's a
yeah.
little bit of a ride, yeah.
Any haunted historical residential places that people live in currently, we work for snacks. So just saying.
Just sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a question. Do you ever see?
So, quick question from Raul from Tower Paranormal. Do you ever see if there's an old haunting that was in an old article? Any activity?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any. I know there are some jails that had activity. I don't know if there's any structures from the 1876 World's Fair in Philadelphia that are still standing, but there were some stories that came out of some of the buildings. The main, I think it's the administration building. I think there's some stories out of there. Nothing that I researched struck a chord about anything currently standing that's currently known to be haunted. So I can't say I came across that at all.
It's just like
Interesting.
think.
But
Maybe that's why you're drawn to Gettysburg, because most of those buildings are still standing.
yeah, and you know what? I didn't come across any stories from Gettysburg. None.
Really?
The only thing I came across was I think it was the Adams Sentinel, which was a former Gettysburg publication that reported on a haunting in a different state, and that's the closest tie to Gettysburg I could find in my research.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I've only got. I'm sorry.
No, I was the whole night of technical difficulty, so apologies to you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're rotating shifts. It's a union thing. Union
You're
rules.
next.
So
Yeah, you're next.
yeah. So I want to point something out. Adam, the Victorian historian,
He's awesome.
the building that you see behind him is his personal home.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
we were talking to Adam before the show, and he has decorated his whole house in the Victorian style.
Nice.
I thought he was sitting in a museum.
He is.
He is.
Technically speaking.
I think it's a lot of the places that you do are not Gettysburg, because I think Gettysburg gets a lot of reverence and attention to begin with.
Mhm.
I think the stuff that you pull up and publish would be of interest to people that they would be like, wow.
And personally, we just came.
I'm sorry, Todd. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I wonder, that's interesting with Gettysburg though, because you would imagine maybe because there's so much activity already there, they get distracted and they don't. I don't know, because it's kind of weird that there's no hauntings of in that area. You would imagine so, but maybe they're too distracted with everything else that's going on.
To have reported it.
Yeah, well, I know that in the 1860s, during the Civil War itself, there was actually a decrease in ghost stories appearing in newspapers. People at the time, they didn't want to hear or read about ghost stories. There was already enough devastation happening across the country. People were met with stories of death every day in these newspapers. They didn't need to read about ghost stories when there was death all around them. It wasn't until the late 1860s, early 1870s when people were like, okay, we're ready again for ghost stories. We've Civil War has passed. We've healed as best they could, and now they're ready for entertainment. And ghost stories were very much entertainment for people. So there definitely was a large decrease during the Civil War years for ghost stories.
Well, I can imagine, because with that much death happening in your backyard, the last thing you want to talk about is death.
Yeah, absolutely.
These people are even more dead.
Yeah, these are. Yeah, all the people that died here. Would you like to come talk to them, because they're still here?
Yeah.
And plus, they probably felt it was disrespectful. They may have thought that's like I don't know. Too soon.
Too soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't done research into this yet. Maybe one of you know, or somebody listening could chime in. But I haven't researched when ghosts became popular in Gettysburg. So I haven't come across any accounts throughout the 1890s involving ghosts in Gettysburg. I don't know when the sightings began. I don't know when people started claiming they had experiences. I don't know if any of you know that.
Huh.
When that started.
But that is a very good question.
That's a very good question. And you'd be the guy that could probably find the answer.
I'm hoping.
Let's go.
So sorry everybody about the technical difficulties, and our apologies to Adam.
Yeah, I know.
So
no worries.
We had Ron and Lourdes set up down in Otter's office downstairs, and for some reason, it was doing what Todd and Carmela are doing. So I went downstairs and said, "Screw it, I'll grab some chairs. Come up." Well, Todd and Carmela are still having the same issues, but we're going to continue to talk with Adam. I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Now, most of your articles and most of your stuff is mainly East Coast, correct?
Oh, it's nationwide.
Is it nationwide?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is really cool. I would like to know, where do you see the most prevalent information coming out of?
Most of it comes out of major city newspapers in central and eastern United States. So I know the New York Post, New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, the Inter-Ocean, which was another big Chicago paper at the time, the St. Louis Globe Democrat, Cincinnati Post,
Ohio.
Kansas City. Is it Kansas City Times? Yeah. So like the major city newspapers report, they report not only on their own accounts, but on other accounts throughout the country. And then you got, I would say the fewest accounts came from Midwest and Western newspapers. There aren't too many accounts from there. It was mostly the East Coast and Central.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So,
yeah,
and-
I mean, but the stories come out of, stories revolve around national stories. You could have a New York paper talking about something that happened in Nevada or something.
So another question that surrounds that. So, and I'm not a newspaper person. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a reader. I'm a multitasker. I struggle with reading. I got 2 degrees in 4 years, and it about killed me because I had to read so much. But the biggest thing, my big question is like today we've got the lifestyle section, you've got the entertainment section. Did they have those sections back then, and where were those articles printed, in what sections, or where are we talking front page articles?
That's a great question.
Well, actually, some did appear on the front page, and yes, there were sections. There were entertainment sections. There were sections called Society, where the public could read about what the wealthy are up to. The parties that the wealthy are throwing for each other. And then there were a theater section. Theater was a huge form of entertainment back in the 19th century, and so opera also. So theater and opera were very much reported on. You had ladies' entertainment sections, specifically topics that ladies would find interesting. But the paranormal accounts, they appeared in just your general news. I mean, many of them appeared, I would say, within the first 8 pages of a publication.
Wow.
Some did appear in the front page. Many appeared on page 3. I found a lot from page 3 in different papers, and page 4 as well. But very few stories occurred after, I would say, page 8. So the first 8 pages really had the stories.
That's wild. At what level back then historically was the level of skepticism culturally with regards to fraudulent acts, hoaxing, etc.? Obviously today now, the more technology moves us forward, the more skeptical and less trusting people are of any quote unquote capture. To what degree and in what way was it present back then, I guess around Victorian times?
There were many skeptics back then, many. And I mean, there were many believers, just like today, skeptics and believers today. In fact, there was, and I have here, let's see if I can find it. Where is it? There were actually challenges issued for money to anyone that could prove that a spirit was real. And I have here from this is from the New York World, dated April 22nd, 1888. And this gentleman, Henry Guy Carleton, he was a humorist. Oh, where is he? There he is.
Here he is.
Yeah. He was, what was he? Yeah, he was a humorist. He was a journalist and a playwright, and he was a big skeptic. And so he offered this challenge in the New York World to anyone who could publicly prove to him that ghosts exist. So his challenge was to hold a public seance in New York City at a hotel, and he was going to offer $1,000 to anyone who could prove that during the seance, which is a large amount of money, especially at that time, to anyone who could prove to him during a seance that spirits were real. And he actually published a set of 11 rules, and I'll read some of them to you because some of these rules are bizarre. I'm gonna paraphrase some of them, but so they used slates back then to write on. So he issued a challenge, and one of the rules is that any writing that's to be done by a spirit during the seance, the automatic writing, any writing that's to be done is to be done on a slate on the table, not below it. Because anybody can write below, on a slate,
Right.
Under a table. So anything that involved writing had to be done on the table in full view of Mr. Carleton. Let's see. Okay, there will be no knee joint or finger or toe joint cracking. Of course, dating back to the Fox sisters. Let's see. Okay, so with materialization, during these seances, spirits would materialize. And some of these materializations were simply a person coming out from behind a curtain wearing a white sheet. And of course, that shocked the audience. It shocked people. These true believers, it really got to them. They fully believed that this was somebody that they knew. This was a deceased loved one. But Mr. Carleton said that if someone were to manifest, if a spirit were to manifest, he himself would want to squirt lemon juice into the spirit's eyes. And if it was a true spirit, it wouldn't bother him.
Right.
So
That's hysterical.
That is funny.
Yeah. That's just as bad as the guy shooting at him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what you get for trying to deceive.
Yeah.
You get lemon in your eye.
Right. And he was trying to, right.
Testing. Sorry to interrupt. Can you hear and see us finally?
Yes.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah.
Those damn gremlins from Key West followed us home.
It's Robert the doll.
Robert did it.
Robert did it.
He also said, and another thing he said is if the spirit is authentic, that he would know the name of his deceased uncle, his age, his uncle's weight, and the time and location of his death. So he made
it virtually impossible.
Exactly. So
why he was comfortable giving like $1,000 back then.
Right.
Yeah. It's like
confident.
Never gonna happen.
Well, yeah, because I'll bet you his wife didn't even know his weight. Right?
Yeah. There was a modern version of that type of challenge not that long ago from a scientific-based organization, and they'll move the goalposts. If you nail it or put something forth that's compelling, they'll change the criterion or redefine what you need to meet the goal, or they'll do something to change they'll move the goalposts
to make it unattainable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then you can't say, well, what you say doesn't matter. Your opinion has no value because you've already submitted to them for their assessment in order to try to get the money. So now you lose that. You can't even dismiss them as not credible because you gave them credibility.
Yeah. Who was that older gentleman? He passed away, I want to say, within the last decade or so. The great
Kreskin.
Who was it?
Kreskin? No, James Randi.
Yes, him. He was offering what? I think $1 million?
Yeah, he had a high ticket price also for.
So I wonder what his stipulations were.
His rules.
Yeah, because as of recent times, with so many paranormal investigators and researchers like us,
Well, the equipment.
we can provide you with tons of evidence.
Yeah. But you had to nail his weight while he was eating a burrito.
Right.
Yeah.
And farting at the same time.
That's crazy.
This is fascinating. This is way fascinating. Here's, guys, I want to point something out about Adam, because we've talked about this not just with paranormal investigators, anybody in the paranormal, the people that go out and do the work. This is what impresses me about Adam. Guys, the research that he does and the newspapers that he pulls to get this information for all of his, how many books now, Adam?
4 now.
Wow.
4 books, guys. And these books are thick. They're not like little tiny thin books. These books are thick. Talk about people that do the work. You can't find the articles that Adam finds on the internet.
Right. You
You have to dig through these newspapers. Like he said earlier, it was on page 3. It was on page 4. He knows the sections of the newspapers that they had back then and what was in each section. That means this man has done the work. And just like anybody else in the paranormal, like us and like Todd and Carmela and like Ron and Lourdes, guys, we have regular jobs. This is our hobby. We don't make millions of dollars off the paranormal, or our podcast wouldn't have all these fucking technical difficulties.
Somebody working this shit out.
Right. I mean, just as an example, Todd switched from his laptop to his tablet to his phone because of the technical. So the point I'm trying to make is talk about doing a 40+ hour week job on top of doing the research that Adam has done to get these 4 books out. That's what you call doing the work, and that's what impresses us the most about Adam. Is not only does he do the work, he talks about the stuff that we talk about today. He talks about the way history talked about it, right? And to goddamn find these articles, this man has worked his suit off to where now his suit looks like he's still back in those times.
I love that it matches his background.
It's
Like I said,
and that's what Stay Haunted is about. People like Adam. Stay Haunted is about everything paranormal. God damn, this man has done some work to put these 4 books together, and that's what impresses me.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. This is a labor of love. I love this. I wish there was a way to make this a living. I really do, but I'm happy to have this as a hobby, and to be able to share what I find with others. I love the research. I love the writing, and to be able to share this passion with others and have them read these old accounts and have them enjoy it just makes it all that more enjoyable for me to do this.
So Adam, I got to ask. So backing up on what Chris, the accolades and obviously all the wonderful research that you've done, out of the books that you've written and out of all the different stories that you've come across in your research, give us 1 or 2 of like the craziest or wildest kind of story that you've come across.
Okay. Actually, I was recently researching for my latest book, a murder which occurred in 1895, which led to a haunting. And I can tell you about that if you like it, if you'd like me to. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. So this occurred, let me see if I can find it here. This occurred in San Francisco. This occurred in San Francisco in January of 1895, and it involved, and I have pictures here to show also. It involved this young lady, Estrulia Shattuck, who went by the name Truly. Can you see her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Her face matches her name.
I'm sorry.
I said her face matches her name.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Truly was just shortened for Estrulia, just a shortened name.
Oh, wow.
She wanted to be an actress. It was her passion, but she didn't really have much talent. So she would try out for these plays and just wasn't getting hired. Well, she had the suitor that she was seeing. She had this young man, and his name was, if I can find it here,
Harvey Weinstein.
I'm
I'm sorry, did I say that or think it?
No, he's
What was that? Did that come out loud?
that was out loud.
his name was Harry Poole. And and Harry had been courting Truly for a few months, and Truly's mother was like, "When are you going to propose to her? Are you just going to string her along and never propose to her? What are your intentions with my daughter?" And she was getting agitated. She wanted him to finally marry her, but at the same time, he really was kind of lazy. He couldn't hold a job. He didn't really have he didn't even put in the work to try to find a job. So she's like, "I want you to marry my daughter, but how are you going to support her if you do?" So she was kind of torn herself. I don't know, but so she wanted to know what was his intentions with her, and he wouldn't respond to her letters about that. So finally, she had enough. So she forced her daughter Truly to write a letter to her boyfriend Harry, saying that Truly's mother was sick and wanted to see Harry before she passed away, because Harry wasn't responding to her letters. The only way she could actually get to see him is to fake her being sick and him having him coming over to see her.
Right.
So that's what happened. Truly was forced to write this letter to her boyfriend. He got the letter. He saw that Truly's mother was sick. She really wasn't. He came over to the house, went into the mother's bedroom, sat on her bed, and admitted to her mother that they had been intimate the last time they were together. And of course, being intimate without being married back then was taboo.
Right.
And Truly, at this time, was in another part of the house, and she heard a gunshot. So she runs to her mother's room, and she sees Harry Poole slumped over on the floor with blood pooling out of his right temple. Wow. And her mother said that Harry shot himself. And Truly shouted, "No, you shot him." Like, she gave it right back to her mother. "No, you shot him. You killed him." And she ran out and got the police. And of course, the police came and arrested the mother for murdering Truly's boyfriend. Of course, she ended up being released under being considered insane. So she ended up in this, insane institution. But so Truly ended up getting all these roles now that she was famous from this national story, and everyone wanted to work with her now. She got these gigs in plays. She ended up being in early silent films, but her residence ended up being known as a haunted location because of the murder which occurred. Families that moved in there would hear sounds of walking, of pacing, doors would slam. I think, if I remember correctly, there one person heard a gunshot, which would have, maybe a residual energy of what happened, what had occurred there. So I found that story really interesting. That I like, there were other lesser known accounts of murders leading to hauntings that I tried to do some research on. I couldn't find a whole lot, but some I actually did find quite a bit, and I included that in the book. But I thought since this was the most recent story I came across involving a murder that led to a haunting, I would share that one. Sorry if I dragged on a little bit.
No, you're good.
Fantastic.
I actually wanted to point something out, because Chris made an emphasis on the amount of work and labor of love and stuff that you have to go through to have this work. But your ability to tell the story and convey it on camera, which I'm assuming also in person would be just the same, is a whole other skill that makes it interesting when you have an audience that's intrigued by this stuff. To tell the story, to be attached to them, to know a lot of the details off the top of your head. That's connecting with people. And I would guess that you've been told before that when people read your writing, that you sound like the way you speak when they read your words.
I hope so.
You're a great storyteller.
Yes,
You are.
it's fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do have a picture of Truly's mother after her arrest.
Oh, at her arrest.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Oh, she looked happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Mrs. Montgomery's sister.
I was just thinking that, Chris. We were just thinking,
I'm thinking now.
yeah,
Now,
go
I
ahead.
wanna hear something interesting.
So mean looking.
Yeah.
So ironic, right? Because all she had to do was lose her mother and lose her boyfriend to get what she wanted.
Now,
She shot him. She shot him. Then she said, "You'll be fine."
now, when we, I'm sorry. So when we think of spirits today, we don't really have a specific idea of what a spirit looks like. We could envision a spirit in Civil War attire. We could envision a woman in Victorian gown. We could envision somebody modern day attire. But in the 1880s, there was a specific look, I guess, that a spirit was said to have, and I have that description. So
Oh, I'd love to hear that one.
The
Yeah.
sheet. I love the sheet. That was great.
So this is from the Burlington Democrat, dated August 1st, 1886, and it's from Burlington, Vermont. And it says, a ghost is about 5'7" in height and weighs from 4 to 6 ounces. They aren't afraid of anything and will hang around a graveyard as careless as a schoolboy will around an orchard in green apple time. They are like a great many other things in this world, often heard of but seldom seen. And then this publication goes on to say, I will give $1,500 to see a ghost and $250 more to own one. But I want one caught whole and not hurt.
Wow.
What year was that?
What year was it?
That was 1886.
Wow.
Like an eye ago.
They wanted one.
Well, and here's the
Not her.
and here's the thing I love about the work that Adam does is let's look at today versus then. As a schoolboy in an apple yard during season, right?
Yeah.
Good Lord, that description has changed so vastly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now we have to G-rate where a schoolboy would be in 2025 compared to where they were in the 1880s.
Yeah.
They're not hanging out in an apple orchard, I'll tell you that right now.
No.
And that's something you won't hear from anybody else but from Adam and the type of work he does. But what's scary is that in today's society where you can sell somebody a star in the sky and name it after, people will do that. They'll start selling spirits and you can just, name it what you want, don't hurt it.
Right.
Yeah, it's at this location at this time.
Yeah.
That's your spirit now.
Yeah.
It belongs to you.
Well, and the
there we
concept,
go.
We have a new job.
We have a new, listen, there's our new gig.
right?
Our side gig.
It's right.
How did they come up that it weighs 4 to 5
Ounces.
pounds?
Here's the best part.
Anyway.
Here's the best part. Us
That's
as
crazy.
paranormal researchers understand that they have no concept of space and time, reality, or weight.
Wait, that's awesome.
How do you weigh a ghost? Hey, come stand on the scale for a minute, would you?
Yeah.
And then the best part is I want the ability to own it.
I know exactly. Yeah.
This was the 1880s. Owning anything got taken care of in the Civil War. Hello.
Yeah.
That is just insane.
It is insane thinking, but they weren't as educated, I guess. I mean,
They were, but they weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learn as we go.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
all
we do.
process is way different.
What else you got for us, Adam? I mean, we have 5 minutes left, but if we roll over, we roll over because the crap you come up, not the crap, I'm sorry.
Sure, Adam. You got fresh.
We only have 5 minutes?
Our show is scheduled for an hour, but we can roll over.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 2 hours. Okay.
We can go for 2 hours if you want, but I got to get up at 5 a.m. So
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, I have another story to tell you.
love it.
I could probably tell in 5 minutes. So this is from 1874, and it takes place in Dubuque, Iowa, and it involved a young couple who were engaged to be married. The young woman, the soon to be wife, she developed an illness and passed away. Her fiance fell into a deep, deep depression, and he became bedridden. He became sick himself. He would not get out of bed. His mom would visit him and try to cheer him up, and she could not. Now, this young man, he would tell his mom that he could see at a certain time every day the spirit of his wife enter his room and take a seat in a corner of his room. She would always be dressed in a very certain way, with the attire that he knew her to wear most often. So he ended up, his mom noticed that every time he talked about his fiance, he would perk up. He would show some sign of life, and then when he wasn't talking about her, he would be depressed again. So this is kind of weird. This is going to get a little weird, but his mother decided, I'm going to cheer him up by appearing in his room like his wife or his fiance.
Oh, yeah,
I know, totally. I know that's a little weird. I know it's a little strange. So the mother, taking the knowledge of that her son gave her about what his fiance is seen to wear when she shows up in spirit form, his mother went to a clothing store, bought the same type of clothing, and she dressed up, and she went to her son's room, and he was sleeping, but she sat in the corner that he claimed that his fiance he would sit in. So his mother just sat in the corner wearing the same attire as the spirit of his fiance wore, waiting for him to wake up. So finally, her son wakes up from his sleep. He looks in the corner where his fiance spirit usually is. Now it's his mother sitting there. But his mother was said to look like his fiance, even in face. She was very youthful. So he sees his mother. Then he looks over in the other corner. His eyes get really wide. He props himself up on his elbows, and he says, "My God, there are two of them." Then he falls back and dies.
Oh!
So he saw both his fiance's spirit and his mom pretending to be his fiance. And
Oh my God.
that was too much for his heart. And so that was
and it just killed them.
Oh my
it just
God.
killed him.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's insane.
That's a wild story.
Yeah.
Melissa's funny.
Rent a ghost.
Red's a ghost.
And I just saw, because we can't see the chat because how we came in through the link, but I saw Melissa's comment. We could name it like 1-800-RENT-A-GHOST.
Hey, you know what? I'm sure that would be big business. Anything ghost related, I'm sure would be a hit.
Now let's go back, and I hate to go off the rails, but this is what we do, right?
This is what you're known for.
So now let's fast forward to 2025. That is not the thought the guy would have had. He'd have been like, "Hey, menage a trois." It wouldn't have killed him. It might have killed his mom.
Well, and it may have killed him when he realized that
It was his mom.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Mom, what are you doing
you know what?
here?
And these series of books are filled with these types of stories, and they're fascinating. I can't just pick my favorite. There's so many to choose from. Some are just quick blurbs that you can read in literally 20 seconds, and then some, take a few minutes. But I mean, there are hundreds of pages in each book, and the most amazing accounts these are all accounts that have been lost to time. These are all ghost stories that have not been seen or heard of since they were first published in their respective publications well over a century ago. So I want to bring these back into the public's consciousness and reintroduce them to a new generation.
Yeah.
And it's something I just love doing. And the books are available on Amazon. They're linked up through my website, thevictorianhistorian.com, or just victorianhistorian.com. And the Amazon links to each book are on there through the bookstore tab. But I mean, I love doing this. I love coming on to these types of podcasts and sharing these stories with people who may not have heard them. It brings me joy to be able to share that. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that.
I have one quick thing I want to bring up. So I work for Department of Corrections. I'm a teacher, an old history teacher that I work with. He used to do research on the Lindenberg, baby kidnapping and stuff like that. So he unfortunately passed away. When I was going through the drawers of his research, I actually came across like old Trenton Times local newspapers that date back from like when did it happen? The early 1900s or whatever. And when you would, like, I have them all folded up and kind of preserved as best as I can. But like when you would open them up, it's huge. And like you said, everything would be reported and written out, and notifications from, weddings to funerals to deaths to, you name it. And there was even some strange kind of, paranormal stuff in there. I'll have to go back and look and see if I can find anything for you, Adam. And if I find anything strange, I'll definitely pass it along to you.
Yeah. I'd love to see that stuff. Yeah.
It's fantastic. That is just so awesome, guys. And this is exactly what I talked about. And I said, and here's the funny thing is when Audra and I first met Adam, it was two Gettysburg bashes ago. And Adam has his table in the main conference room at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. And down one side is the Johnny Zappases, the Cody and Satoris, I'm not going to say his name. Like the Tennessee Wraith Chaser guys are there. You see Shane Pittman, Dave Schrader. And then you see all these different paranormal groups. And then you see the vendors that are selling their items. And then you see the paranormal groups they're broadcasting, and they're advertising their locations. And in the center is Adam, and you see him in his suit, and it's just phenomenal because everybody around him is today. Nobody puts in the work, and nobody stands in the middle of that room and says, okay, you guys are thinking today, I'm thinking yesterday, and check this shit out. And it's phenomenal. And that's what caught our eye, because Audra and I we go into a location, like we went to the Spafford House this weekend with Ron and Lourdes, and this house was built in the early 1800s. It's seen everything that's happened in the area that we now currently live in, which is Perrysburg, Ohio, which is right outside of Toledo, right? And the entire history of the whole area is inside this building, and it was phenomenal. That's what drew us to Adam. And what really drew us to Adam to have him on the show is the amount of work he puts into these books, like I was talking about earlier, and it's just phenomenal. And look at his house, guys. Look at what he's got on, right? Not only does this guy have a passion for what he does, but he lives it, he breathes it, he does everything to bring it to you and bring it in the forefront.
I love it.
So, Adam, we talked to you at Gettysburg. Yeah. There you go.
There it is.
Oh, wow. So Adam is very interested in attending more Paracons to get his book out there. And I said, you need to talk to Ron and Lourdes because they go to a ton of them, or Todd and Carmela go to a ton of them. These are the people you need to talk to. Yeah. And I'm going to send them your email, and I'll send you their email so you guys connect, because there are ton in your area that are in driving distance where you can get your word out, because I believe. So the reason I'm saying this is because we focus on the history that leads up to the paranormal. Mm-hmm. And you are the quintessential example of that, right? So you are what drives our passion. Our passion is not just the paranormal. Our passion is the history behind it. And you're the guy that not only do you document it, you spend hours upon hours upon hours finding these to create those books.
Well, and they're the off-the-wall ones that most people don't.
Right.
As I've said, I want to bring them kind of to the forefront.
Right.
And we thank you.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, everything's unique. The approach is unique. The history and haunting, connecting, the way you do it is unique. The time period is unique. And like you said, the wardrobe is unique. In a sea filled with paranormal teams that look like bowling leagues with matching black T-shirts, right? Is dapper. Right.
What's wrong with that?
And women, mothers back then, they were a little crazy.
Apparently.
Yeah. And sorry, ladies, Adam is taken.
I am. Hi, Allie. If she's watching.
Better say your name, or you can get your hands kicked after the show.
Bonus points for you, Adam.
Yeah. You just earned some bonus points. Good job, bud. Yeah. But guys, this is Adam is a perfect example of why we started Stay Haunted. Stay Haunted is not just focused on one thing in the paranormal. We are everything paranormal. And guys, I had to have Adam on Stay Haunted. That's why we invited him back. This is the type of shit that Stay Haunted is about. We're not just going to show you the evidence. We're not just going to show you investigators. We're not just going to show you the people that everybody sees on TV. We're going to bring everybody to the forefront that's paranormal. That's what it's about. And it's it's the para-unity. And the people you see on the screen, the shiny headed guy right there with his little bitty wife that shrinks down in the chair as the broadcast goes on, right? And the two sitting here, along with the two sitting here, this is what para-unity is about. It's not just about the paranormal. It's about everything in the paranormal, bringing everybody to the forefront, the people that do the work and bust their ass like Adam. These are the people we want you guys to see.
And sharing your work. It is important to share. It's weird because that's how we learn from each other.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, it all comes full circle. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is how you meet people, and then they share that, and then you might go, but I know so and so. I mean, it's just amazing, the connections. I love it.
Yeah, actually, Raul and Tower just posted about the we're going to be in Gettysburg come next weekend for the Paranormal Research Symposium. I'm delivering one of the lectures there. Come on by if you're around. You can come by on Saturday. But either way, we can talk, and if we can help you, get your message out anywhere, we'd be happy to do it. I think it's like Chris said. The work and everything is unique. It's history that doesn't ever get old.
Right.
Right.
That's a great way to say it.
Yeah, I could have stayed another hour and shared stories. I mean, this was fun.
Yeah.
This
Well,
was
you
a
know
lot
what
of fun.
that means, Adam. We'll have to have you back on again.
Dude,
Anytime. I'm here.
We will definitely have you on, Adam, because not only do we want to get you out there, we want to get the paranormal out there, no matter what decade it comes from. It's all about the paranormal. It's all about the afterlife. It's all about the connection, the consciousness, everything else.
Maybe next time I'll share you. I'll tell you about a seance where in 1866, John Wilkes Booth was said to have come through a seance in Chicago. And I have his supposed exact words of what exactly happened when he assassinated Lincoln and what happened after he fired the gun.
Oh, definitely have you back because of that.
Through John Wilkes Booth's supposed own words from the afterlife.
Interesting.
So a little bit of a teaser.
that's a good teaser.
His own cliffhangers.
Who does?
Who does that? Who does that? Adam does that.
Yeah.
You threw that right out to our audience, and then you'll just kind of like.
Yeah.
I'm a big Lincoln lover. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, Adam, I got to show you this. I don't know if you saw it or not, but you did get some bonus points.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's great. I love it.
Awesome.
Make sure you keep on the suit for at least a little while after the show. All right, Adam, thank you, God. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for what you do, keeping the paranormal relevant no matter what year it happened. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Tell everybody once again where you can be seen, where you can be heard, where they can find you.
Yeah. I mean, the books are available on Amazon. The quickest, I mean, you could type in History's Haunted Headlines on Amazon. You could type in my name. It'll come up with, I have other books too that aren't paranormal related, but you can type in my name. They'll all come up. Or you could go to either the VictorianHistorian.com or just VictorianHistorian.com and then click on the book. I think it's a book tab, and it'll lead you to the books on Amazon.
Okay.
That's awesome. That is phenomenal. Adam, thanks you again. Sorry for all the technical difficulties.
No problem. No problem.
We knew you'd appreciate seeing Ryan because we appreciate having them here this weekend.
It's great seeing everybody. It really is.
Yeah.
And make sure you hook up with Ron and Lourdes in the Gettysburg Symposium this weekend, so they can get you that information to get you out there to the other Paracons and stuff like that, so you can get those books out there, and we can make Adam Shefts a common name, right? We want everybody in the paranormal to know who Adam is, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
He's doing a good job on his own, though. I gotta say.
Yeah, he does a damn good job.
on his own.
Yeah. Anybody with a house like that,
thank you so much. I appreciate all the kind words. I really do.
we appreciate you having on. Adam is a phenomenal guy. Guys, anytime you see Adam at one of these places and you see his table, stop and talk to him. He is just a phenomenal dude.
Yep.
Genuine, heartfelt, great dude.
Well, you know what? The same could be said of all of you. So it really, so thank you.
All right, guys. We will be back next week.
Don't go yet. We made history here. Well, actually, in Key West. TJ, come here. Come here.
Did he do
TJ.
TJ or
Did
Robbie?
he do choo-choo too?
TJ is an official firefighter. You got a job.
Oh my
All right.
Good for you.
Good job.
Hey, and all you had to do was show your ass in Key West.
It was after that. And here's the dog. Here's Lacey. Lacey's happy too.
Oh, she's proud too.
Congratulations, bud.
Yeah,
Good
that's
job.
awesome.
We made history too. We're very excited.
That is fantastic.
That is awesome. Good for you guys.
Yeah, that's great.
That's cool.
All right, guys. We will be back next week with another great guest. Unfortunately, Ron and Lourdes won't be here then.
But
But,
we will be watching.
but fortunately,
Oh, you're gonna come here. Surprise! They're coming to our house next night.
but fortunately, Audra, Todd, and Carmela and I will be here. But we will be back with another great guest. Might not be as great as Adam, but they'll be great guests.
People have someone scheduled.
I do have someone scheduled.
Yeah.
No, we will be back again, guys. With speaking of firefighters and law enforcement, we will be back with Jeremy from Beyond the Badge, which
Oh,
is
he's cool.
very
He's
heartfelt
cool.
to me.
Yeah.
So, guys, Adam, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Really, thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Guys, remember this. It doesn't matter if it's 2025. It doesn't matter if it's 1913. It doesn't matter if it's 1886. You either look for the headlines or you go out in the field and you look to stay haunted. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you
Good night.
next
Thanks
week.
everybody in chat for joining us.